Well, hello, today is Saturday, July 15th, and I'm going to go over the weekly, which is called Be a Party Boss. I I'll start off with my weight loss. I did have a loss. I lost zero point 0.1, so I'm down to 261.9. I don't know if you can see that. And I'll be honest with you, I was very disappointed. I really stayed on track the whole week. I did track all week. I did pretty good. I've never done excellent, but I did pretty good. And I weighed myself before I left, and it showed that I lost 1.5 pounds on my scale at home from what I weighed last Saturday. And so I went there with that full intention of at least losing a pound because I had to go to a funeral today, and so I didn't stay for the meeting. So you're going to get my interpretation of the book, not the leader's interpretation of the book, because like I said, I didn't stay for the meeting. I went to an earlier meeting, and I weighed in, and then I left. So yeah, I know that your weight fluctuates at different times of the day. Not by pounds and pounds and pounds, by no means, but I think by a pound or two it could make a difference. And I did weigh earlier than I normally weigh, and I did have heavier clothes on because obviously I wasn't dressed summer-like. I was dressed for a funeral. And so I'll take the 0.1 because in my mind I really know I lost at least a whole pound. With that brings me to a 1 pound loss from the month. Not really a 1 pound loss for the month because I gained 1.3, so I still have to lose that 0.3 so I can get my 5 for July. And I know I'll do it. I still have 2 more, well, I actually only have 1 more weigh-in according to my book. Well, I got 2 more weigh-ins to the end of July because there's 5 weeks in July. So I do have 2 more weeks to do it. And I know I'll do it. I'll get back on track. I'm not discouraged, just disappointed. I guess there is a difference between being discouraged and disappointed. And if you're discouraged, that kind of leads you to being close to giving up. And I'm by no means close to giving up. Disappointed means that things just didn't turn out the way you hoped they would turn out, and you just move on. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move on and not let it bother me. So anyway, back again to the book, Be a Party Boss. And the first page said, being able to eyeball your portion sizes is a key skill, especially when you're enjoying yourself out at cookouts or parties. Does it sound tricky? Yeah, it does. It really does. But they go, no, not to worry. Practice weighing and measuring things at home and get into the habit of estimating portions and trying to figure them out yourself by looking at your hand and like a deck of cards, a thing of dice as cheese and stuff. I think I do pretty good, like eyeballing it. I still go back. I'll eyeball something first. And like I'm pretty good, like when I get the feta cheese, I get them in a chunk because I don't like the crumbled. So I get it in a chunk, and I do pretty good to slice it pretty much close to that 1 ounce. Sometimes I'm a little bit over, but for the most part, I'm just a little hair under. And I know that like when you go to the deli and get cheese sliced, most times, because I ask for it thin, it's an ounce. Each slice is an ounce. So I kind of know from there. The chicken, I don't know, I can kind of just tell with the chicken, but I still weigh the chicken. So you want to get into that habit. By no means my portion sizes are anywhere near what they used to be, because I used to think, oh, that looks like a little bit of potatoes, but then I measured them out now, and I know that I probably should be having a half a cup of potatoes, and at the time I was having a cup of potatoes thinking it really wasn't that much. So I'm getting pretty good. It actually worked out pretty good because after the funeral we went to the luncheon, and I had some mashed potatoes, which I was able to figure out was a half a cup. I figured it, you know, I couldn't have been exact, but I think I was pretty close. I had a chicken breast, and I had a salad. Now, they already had the dressing on it, but, you know, when you're at a party or something, it's going to be kind of hard to gauge exactly how much. But since it's a pre-made salad with the dressing already on it, and it's Italian dressing, I think I got pretty close to the 2 tablespoons in the salad portion that I had. And I did have a dinner roll. And I like when they give you the little pats of butter because those are only a teaspoon those little pats of butter. So it's easy to tell how much butter you're having. And then I had a glass of lemonade because they didn't have tea. They only had coffee. I don't like coffee. So I think I did pretty good on the portions control. They had, which was in my favor, they had carrot cake for dessert. I'm not a big fan of carrot cake. In my past life, I would have ate it because it said cake. Cake? Cake? Yeah, I'm going to have some cake. Carrot cake? Eh, but it says cake, so it's got to be good. So I would eat it. Now I know. You're not a fan of carrot cake. Why do you want to have a slice of carrot cake? Just so you can have the word say cake in it? No, that's not going to happen. Let me get the phone. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Another thing that they told us to do is how it helps to know how to measure by just looking. It boosts your awareness of food choices, and the amounts and awareness can help you with your weight loss. Not only can it boost accountability, but it can assure you think you're overdoing it. If you estimate it and track it later on, you'll find out that maybe you really didn't go as bad as you thought. And another thing they tell you is how to beat the buffet. And these are some things that you can do when you go to a barbecue or a party or whatever, is to create a game plan. Set aside how many smart points you think you want to use. And if you know you're going to be there for a couple hours, most people in the parties kind of graze. Just figure I'm going to just eat a couple things this hour and a couple things that hour, and kind of spread your points out. Also stay busy. If you're at a party, there's always like games going on, badminton and horseshoes, those little corn toss games, or corn in the hole, or whatever they're called. And there's always something to do. You can always go table hopping and talk to people. You don't necessarily have to eat. I mean, I know it's like mindless eating, which is a couple weeks back, mindless eating. But just sit at the tables and just know that you're not going to mindless eat. You're just going to sit and talk and get to know people and have a good time. And you need to be realistic. Every time you go to any kind of a barbecue or a party, they're always going to have like a little bowl of M&Ms, and they're going to have a little bowl of crackers and chips and pretzels and dip in that. But really think about it. They really kind of go stale after a while, and like the chips in that, because they've been out in the sun and that. Are they really that enjoyable? Unless you're right there at the beginning of the party eating the chips and the dip. The dip gets kind of warm. The chips kind of get kind of sun drenched. It's not really worth it. The chocolate gets melted. Who am I kidding? Chocolate tastes good no matter what. But I was trying to be so serious. I had a serious face. It's just chocolate gets melted. But no, it's still... you can have some candy. You really can. You can have some chips. You can have all of those things. You just got to figure them into your points and then move on. They gave us a little portion test thing to do, and I kind of figured it out myself. I did it. Carrots and ranch dip are your picnic go-to. How to keep track of your dip digging. You want to figure that you want to just use like your fingertip. Not that you're going to put your fingertip into the bowl, but like you can scoop out some, and then you can kind of like look at your fingertip and look how much you got in the spoon, and that'll tell you that that'll figure it out. And then look at your tracker and see how many points a teaspoon is. I should have looked that up before I told you that, but I didn't do that. Sometimes when you're barbecuing, they're going to do chicken breasts. Just kind of figure out a chicken breast is going to be about the size of your hand. Not your husband's hand, not the tallest man in the building's hand, your hand. You want to look at your hand, and that's about how it's going to be. Pretty much, I think most chicken breasts are like 3 to 4 ounces, unless you get like a gigantic chicken breast. For the most part, I think most of them are 3 to 4 ounces. The party cocktail has vodka and tequila plus grapefruit juice for a 12-ounce plastic cup. So you only get one that's a little bit 2/3 full, so you have to figure out that that's going to be at least 3 ounces of alcohol and 5 ounces of juice, because they're going to pour they're doing a big mixture, so they're not going to measure it out exactly, but you want to figure that out, and then you want to see what kind of liquor they're using and figure out how much in ounces, and figure if you have a glass, figure at least 3 of those ounces is going to be liquor, and the other 5 is going to be the juice, so you can figure it out that way. And ice cream night, how big is a half a scoop? You think a scoop is pretty big, but it's really not. It's about half the size of your fist. And once again, not the biggest man in the room's fist, your fist. So you just want to do like a little bit half of it, which is really enough if you really think about it. But, I'm trying to be so serious. But it really, ice cream, I like ice cream. It's not a big downfall of mine. I don't go out of my way to get ice cream. unless I'm going to have a banana split, and then I'm going too crazy. So I just stay away from banana splits. I do like a good ice cream bar or an ice cream sandwich, but for the most part, I'm not. It's just it's a take it or leave it kind of a dessert for me. So who cares about what I like, eh? Think again. The unhelpful thought is I can't socialize and still lose weight. I have no idea how many smart points are in my favorite foods. And the helpful thought is I can go to parties and still lose weight. I'll estimate my smart points and track what I eat. If I'm not sure when I get home, I'll figure it out. But I'm going to still enjoy the party. I'm just not going to go crazy with my food. And that's so true. You know in your mind how much is a good size serving as far as Weight Watchers is concerned. Not how much a good size serving is in your mind or in your past life when you were overweight. Look at someone that's skinny, look at their, well, no, that's not, I know some skinny people that can really eat a lot of food and not gain any weight. But for the most part, you know how your body reacts to food. Estimating, unhelpful thought is estimating isn't good enough. I need to know exactly how many smart points I've eaten or I can't eat anything. I've found out on this program you have to eat. If you don't eat, you don't lose weight. I ate this week. I know I didn't use all of my smart points, but somehow I do think that I have too many smart points. I know they go by your age and your weight and all that, but I have a hard time reaching it. Just for the fact that I'm older and I don't eat 3 meals. I know some old people eat 3 meals. I don't eat 3 meals. I only eat 2. And I've always, my whole life basically only ate 2 meals. I never ate a set breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but I don't know where I was going with that thought. But anyway, like I said, you have to know you don't have to know. So the helpful thought is I won't always know exactly how many smart points are in food I haven't prepared. That's okay. I still want to go to social events, and I want to estimate how much it is so I can stay connected with my plan and I can stay on track. That's where I was getting to. I know at my age I kind of drift off into space a lot of times. But see, I think it's more helpful when I actually stay for the meetings, that I'm a little more helpful for you. I know I've been all over the page on this. There's not one thing in this thing I like, this recipe, but I'll leave it up there in case any of you like it. But once again, it's be a party boss. I'm sorry that I was so all over the place today. My mind is really not on the Weight Watchers. It's more on my friend who lost her dad. And but I wanted to get this up today. So if this is your first time tuning in, try to check out some of my past videos. I think I did a way better job than I did today. If you don't want to look at the past videos, give me another shot next week. I'll be in a better frame of mind next week, and I'll have a better outlook on the program. I apologize that it was so all over the place today, but like I said, my mind's on other things. But in the meantime, I hope you did like the video. If you did, leave me a comment. Tell me what you liked or what you didn't like about it. Suggestions, I'm open to suggestions. And once again, I am bummed that I almost said that awful word only. I told you I wasn't going to say that, and look, I said it. But I was bummed that it showed 0.1. I really thought I should have lost more. But then I have the anticipation of next week I'll lose even more than I anticipated, because I do plan on staying on track. I'm not going to let it discourage me. I'm not going to let it make me step backwards. I'm so close to getting into those 50s, because I was 261.9, so I'm only 2 pounds away from being in the 50s. And my goal for this week is to lose the 2 pounds. And I know I can do it, because I really do believe I lost a pound this week. So I really only have to stay with that thought and stay on my program, and I'll have this covered. So I'll see you guys next week, or my daily vlog, which I'm going to start up on again on Monday. So I'll see you guys next week or on Monday.